Billionaire walks in on Maid dancing with his paralyzed daughter. You wouldn't believe his reaction. The mansion stood tall, a fortress full of secrets, casting shadows over the manicured lawns. Inside, the atmosphere buzzed vibrantly. Laughter, music, and the soft shuffle of dancers filled the air. But in a secluded room, the real spectacle unfolded. Mariah, the devoted maid, danced with all her heart, her laughter echoing off the walls. In a guise of hidden joy, she swirled and spun beside Bella, the billionaire's daughter, who sat in her chair, paralyzed but alive with light in her eyes. Their bond, deep and unspoken, ignited like fireworks against the backdrop of the opulent decor. As Mariah twirled, her passion turned the ordinary room into something extraordinary. Every movement painted a picture of defiance against the odds. Bella's eyes sparkled, reflecting dreams that once seemed out of reach. The music swelled, filling the air with enchantment as the two shared a silent understanding, a moment suspended in time. But the door was ajar. Just outside, Trevor, the billionaire, was returning home. The sound of his heavy footsteps, firm, unyielding, grew louder, mimicking the erratic drumming of Mariah's heart. Could he sense something? Could he feel this magic twisting through his daughter's condition? As he pushed the door open, time slowed. There stood Mariah, arms raised, lost in her dance, and there the sight that set fire to the silence. Bella's eyes wide, brimming with joy, the kind that had been absent for too long. Trevor's breath caught in his throat. What lay before him defied everything he understood. A maid dancing, a daughter alive in joy, and his heart sank at the thought of what he might lose. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Trevor's jaw clenched, shock coursing through him like a thunderstorm. He stood frozen, a living statue of disbelief. But this wasn't just a simple sight. It was a violation of every boundary he established, a rupture in the tapestry of his carefully ordered life. Mariah froze too, caught in a web of truth and terror, her eyes wide, her breath hitching in her chest. What would he do? Would fury rip their moment apart, or could it be a chance to understand the impossible? The tension grew thick, smothering. Time hung in the air like the last note of music. What would come next? Would Trevor unleash wrath, or was there room for understanding? Trevor's eyes darted between Mariah and Bella, the air crackling with unspoken words. His heart pounded. Rage bubbled just beneath the surface, yet a flicker of confusion intertwined with it. How could something so simple bring his daughter joy? It shouldn't be happening, not here, not like this. Dad. Bella's voice, shaky but filled with a desperate hope, broke through the tension, surprising everyone. Her smile faltered but remained as bright as the sun. It's okay. Mariah took a cautious step back, her mind racing with possibilities. Would he accuse her of crossing a line? Her gaze dropped, but the warmth she felt in that moment with Bella felt like a lifeline, igniting a flicker of defiance in the pit of her stomach. Trevor's expression shifted, a whirlwind of emotions played out on his face. He took a deep breath, pinching the bridge of his nose, as if struggling against a sudden headache. This is unacceptable, he finally managed, his voice a low growl. What were you thinking? I was thinking that Bella deserves happiness, even if it's just for a moment. Mariah's words escaped before she could catch them, but there was strength behind them. It was a leap, and she didn't know how far it would take her. He exhaled sharply, gaze locked onto her, raw anger simmering beneath the surface. You're a maid, not a therapist. You shouldn't be. His voice trailed off, as if the words were too vile to utter. I'm not just a maid, she responded, her voice rising nervously. I love her. Look at her. She is finally alive again. Trevor's stern demeanor cracked just a little. He caught sight of Bella, her cheeks flushed with joy, eyes shimmering with a flicker of life he hadn't seen in years. For a split second, he hesitated, a mixture of regret and longing for his daughter's happiness overshadowing the anger that had consumed him moments ago. Bella couldn't remain silent any longer. Dad, please, Mariah makes me feel like I can be me again. I want this. Can't you see? Trevor turned back to Bella, the weight of her gaze heavy on him. His heart twisted. He wanted to shield her, but at what cost? The silence stretched out like a taut wire, vibrating with emotion. Could he really crush the only light he'd seen in his daughter's eyes for years? Mariah, he started, the tone of his voice softer, almost pleading. You know this can't happen again. This, whatever this is, it needs to end. But even as he spoke, he felt a sinking sense of defeat creeping in, a sense that he was losing control over the very thing he sought to protect. Mariah's shoulders sank. Trevor was right, and yet, but I can help her, Mr. Anderson. I see Bella for who she really is. Strength is buried deep within her waiting to break free. The battle waged on in Trevor's mind. A mixture of doubt and fear began to twist within him. What if she was right? What if this makes her worse? He asked, anxiety creeping into his voice. Or what if it makes her better? Mariah shot back. Bella's heart raced as she watched her father's struggle. It was a desperate moment, one when choices would forever shift the scales of their world. However, outside their bubble of conflict, a shadow moved past the doorway, unseen and unheard. A figure observed silently from the darkness, whispers of a past intertwining with the tension in the room. Suddenly, the door creaked open wider, and a pair of watchful eyes emerged into the light. Maybe I can help with this situation, came a voice, smooth and calculating, as the unexpected visitor stepped in. Who was this new player, and what did they want with this delicate standoff? The figure stepped forward, revealing a tall man with slick-back hair and a tailored suit that seemed too expensive for the dimly lit room. His smirk was laced with arrogance, eyes gleaming with an unsettling curiosity. Mariah felt her stomach drop. She didn't recognize him, but the oppressive weight of his gaze was unmistakable. Well, he drawled, a hint of amusement in his voice. What do we have here? Trevor's face hardened instantly, anger igniting once more. Who the hell are you? He spat, instinctively stepping in front of Bella and Mariah as if his body could shield them from whatever dark intentions this newcomer carried. Just a friend, the man replied, raising his hands in mock surrender. My name is Victor. Victor Sinclair. He let the name hang in the air, like a threatening echo. I don't care who you are. Get out, Trevor barked, his tone brokering no argument. Victor merely chuckled, unfazed. You might want to reconsider, Trevor. I have information that could change everything for you and your daughter. Bella's eyes darted between the two men, confusion bubbling beneath her anxiety. What do you want? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. Such a bright little star you are, Victor said, addressing her directly, his tone now smooth as silk. All I want is to ensure that you continue to shine. Your father's decisions might dim that light, but together, we could help you truly shine bright. The insidious charm in his words made Mariah's skin crawl. She stepped forward. Leave her alone, Victor. She doesn't need you, and neither do we. You misunderstand, he said, his gaze landing on Mariah. I'm here for your benefit too, darling maid. I see potential in you. You're wasting your talents in a household where you're not appreciated. Trevor's fists clenched, a new spark of rage igniting. If you think you can manipulate us, you're mistaken. Bella is not a toy for you to play with. Victor chuckled again, a sound that sent shivers down Mariah's spine. Oh, it's much more than that, Trevor. Think of it as an opportunity. Life-altering choices require bold moves. You want Bella to be happy? To live? Bella took a shaky step forward, her eyes wide. What do you know about happy? About living? Victor's smile faltered for the briefest moment, then returned, all teeth and darkness. More than you think, dear Bella. I can give you everything a chance to be free, to chase your dreams. All you need to do is decide who you trust more, your father, who holds you back and is scared to let go, or me, who sees the real you. Trevor moved as if to shield Bella, but the air buzzed with a strange energy that had Mariah holding her breath. This man, this Victor, seemed to have an arsenal of power with a flick of his tongue. Her intuition screamed at her that he was dangerous, but she couldn't ignore that he was also undeniable. Stay out of this, Mariah, Trevor hissed under his breath, his eyes ablaze. Dad, please. Bella's plea cut through the tension like a knife. Maybe he really can help. Both Trevor and Mariah stared at her in shock, not believing what they'd just heard. The room fell heavy with an unspeakable weight, an ultimatum brewing in the air. Think it over, Victor said smoothly, as if sealing a deal. You have until tonight. Big decisions, he added, always come with consequences. The clock is ticking. And with that, he turned, his movements graceful, leaving behind a chilling silence. As the door closed, Trevor looked to Mariah, a mix of anger and fear in his eyes. This isn't over. I want to let him take Bella away. But deep down, everything inside Mariah sank. Bella might very well choose Victor's twisted offer. Seconds stretched into eternity as they locked eyes, uncertainty thick in the air. What would Bella decide? Would she choose freedom, or would Trevor's south fear drive them apart? Soon, they would know. The silence lingered, thick like fog pressing against the window. Mariah could sense the impending storm. A brewing conflict simmered behind Trevor's clenched jaw. Every second felt like an eternity, as the intensity of what Victor had dared to suggest hung in the air. Trevor, we can't keep living in fear, Bella finally whispered, her voice shaking slightly. The defiance in her tone rekindled the flame of anxiety in Mariah's chest. The girl looked at her father, searching for understanding, but Trevor's brow furrowed in frustration. Fear isn't our problem, Bella. It's Victor, he shot back, his voice steely. He's a predator. He'll exploit you if you let him. Mariah's heart ached as she observed the two facing off. She could almost see the fissures forming in their relationship. Bella was right at that age, caught between childhood's security and the enticing draw of adulthood. And Victor knew it. Maybe he's right, Dad, Bella said, stepping closer. Maybe you're too overprotective. Stop, Trevor cut her off, his voice a low growl. You're not having this conversation. You don't know what he is capable of. And I also don't know what is waiting for me beyond this house, if I never get to make my own choices. Bella's voice rose, desperation cracking through the facade of calm. At that moment, Mariah felt suffocated by the chaos brewing between them. The stakes grew higher with every word exchanged, and she needed to act before Victor's influence could seep too deep into Bella's psyche. Bella, she said softly, moving toward her. It's important to think about what you truly want. What kind of life do you envision? Bella took a deep breath, seeming to drown in the gravity of the question. I want to live. To experience things, to be free. But at what cost? Trevor's voice was strained, pain twisting his features. Look around you. We're alive. We're safe. Safe isn't enough, Bella whispered as tears gathered in her eyes. You taught me that, Dad. The clash between father and daughter felt like a thunderstorm on the horizon, each bolt of lightning building pressure, approaching fast. Mariah stepped back, knowing that the final decision would be painfully monumental. Time passed with each tick of the clock, the fateful deadline Victor had set looming overhead like a guillotine. The weight of their silence throbbed in Mariah's chest, tightening as she fought the impulse to intervene again. Trevor paced, his anxious steps echoing against the wooden floor, while Bella sat on the edge of her seat, grappling with turmoil. Just then, her phone buzzed against the table, slicing through the tension. Bella jumped, and the three of them instinctively turned towards the sound. It was a text notification. "It's from Victor," Bella said, her fingers trembling as she picked up her phone. "He wants to meet tonight, to discuss things in person. He says the offer is still on the table." Trevor's face turned ashen. "No. Absolutely not. Come on, Dad. I need to face this." "To figure it out," Bella pleaded. "What if he does have something that could help me?" "Help?" Trevor laughed bitterly, shoving his hands into his pockets. "It's not help. It's a trap." Just then, a shadow flickered across the room. The light outside dimmed, as the sun dipped below the horizon. A chill ran through Mariah as she feared that the darkness was creeping in. "Think about what he really wants, Bella," Mariah said, her voice steady. "He is not offering freedom. He is offering a cage lined with cash." Bella's eyes flicked toward Mariah, searching for clarity, then back to her father, who looked like he'd just fought a war. The battle lines were drawn. Victor's words echoed in her mind, mixing with the fear in Trevor's stance. Decision time was coming, and some choices could never be undone. But neither of them was prepared for what lay ahead, the choices they'd have to make, and the lengths they might go to protect what they loved most. As Bella stood up, a fierce resolve ignited behind her eyes. "I need to meet him," she declared. At that moment, as futures collided and possibility loomed, the door rattled slightly. A familiar voice came from behind it, confident and chilling. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Victor was back, and this time, he wouldn't walk away without answers. What would they do now? Could they truly withstand the allure of what he offered, or would they abandon everything for a chance at glittering dreams? The door swung open, and there he was, Victor, leaning casually against the frame, his charm spilling into the room like a chill breeze. Mariah felt her stomach drop at his appearance. Like a well-dressed wolf, he exuded an air of confidence that clashed violently with the tension in the air. He stepped inside without invitation, his raven hair catching the last slivers of light. "Bella," he said, his voice smooth as silk. "I thought we could talk now, just the two of us." Trevor's eyes widened. The raw panic radiating off him was palpable. He stepped protectively in front of Bella, like a human shield. "You think you can just waltz back in here after what you've suggested? You don't get to dictate her life." Victor's lips curled into a smile, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. "Oh, Trevor, you misunderstand. I'm not here to dictate anything. I'm offering an opportunity." "Opportunity?" Trevor scoffed. "More like a noose disguised as a necklace." "You're too quick to judge, my friend," Victor said, crossing his arms, undeterred by Trevor's hostility. "Bella is a bright young woman. She deserves to decide for herself what she wants." Bella stood frozen, torn between the competing forces in the room. She wanted to scream at Victor, to latch onto her father's anger, but strangled emotions churned within her. "I want to hear him out," she managed, her voice trembling. "Why would you want to do that?" Trevor thundered. "He is not your friend. He is here to play games." Mariah sensed a shift in Bella. The girl's independence glimmered beneath the surface, like a light fighting through darkness. "Dad, please, I'm tired of living under constant fear," she pleaded, hope mingling with desperation in her tone. Victor took a step closer, his eyes fixated on Bella. He knew exactly what strings to pull. "I understand. Living in fear binds you, it smothers your spirit. But a world of possibilities awaits if you choose to take a leap. As he spoke, the air grew thick with manipulation. Mariah wanted to lunge forward, to shake Bella free from the shiny deceit wrapped up in Victor's silver tongue. He is not offering you what you think. Don't let his words lead you down a dark path, Bella. But Victor knew how to play the game. You see, I can help you escape this little world to travel, to create, to become the person you've always dreamed of. You simply have to trust me. Bella's breath hitched. The promise of escape shimmered tantalizingly close. Mariah saw her fists clench, the struggle evident in her stance. Fear danced in her eyes, caught between the gravity of Trevor's warning and Victor's seductive whispers. Bella Trevor sighed, his voice raw. Don't you understand? A cage can be beautifully decorated and still be a cage. He'll take everything from you if you allow it. The tension intensified, electrifying the space between them. Bella blinked through tears, stung by a vision of herself free, wild, and unrestrained. But at what cost? The seeds of rebellion sown by Victor began sprouting in her mind, battling the roots of love and protection Trevor had painstakingly nurtured. Victor's gaze remained unwavering on Bella, relentless in its allure. What is a little risk, my dear? Sometimes you must dare to dream. The statement hung heavy in the air, pregnant with implications. Reality tightened around Bella's chest, and just as she appeared ready to take a step toward Victor, a loud crash erupted outside. The sudden noise shattered the moment, drawing all their eyes to the window. A figure sprinted down the street, smoke wafting from a nearby alley, where a car had just slammed into a lamppost. The sirens echoed, growing louder, an ominous warning of chaos surfacing. Mariah's heart raced as she turned back to the group. What is happening? We can't lose focus. But Victor chuckled softly, leaning back just enough to show he enjoyed the uncertainty. The world can wait, can't it? The door trembled as the sirens wailed, slicing through the heated standoff and plunging them back into eerie reality. Suddenly, a choice had to be made between the chaos outside and the seductive promise of a brighter future buried in promises laced with danger. As Trevor's grip tightened, a bizarre question crept into Mariah's mind. Was Victor's influence the worst thing here, or was it the very fear that kept them bound? And outside, the chaos continued to build. What would they decide in this moment fraught with tension and temptation? The stakes were rising, and with every thrum of uncertainty, they stood on the edge of a precipice. The real question now loomed above them all: whose hands would shape Bella's destiny? The sirens wailed like restless spirits, punctuating the charged silence in the room. Victor's smirk widened, as if he thrived off the chaos brewing outside. Mariah felt the walls close in, making it hard to breathe. Everything about Victor felt wrong, like a magnet pulling them into a dark fate. Trevor's fingers gripped Bella's arm tighter, a desperate act to keep her anchored while the storm swirled. Bella, please. Trevor's plea was raw, a father's last stand against the tide. Don't let him trick you. You know he thrives on chaos. What happens when the glamour fades? Victor took another step forward, his voice silky, masking the menace lurking beneath. What is chaos to the adventurous? Bella deserves a taste of life beyond the ordinary, a chance to dance among the stars. His eyes sparkled with a mirth that made Mariah's skin crawl. Dancing among the stars? Bella challenged, the fire of rebellion igniting. What if those stars burn? What if what I see is all a mirage? But what if it's not? Victor's response was instantaneous, the charm woven into every syllable. What if every moment you've spent in fear has kept you from seeing the truth? You can soar like an eagle, Bella, if you only grant yourself the courage to leap. Trevor's face twisted in anguish. And if you fall? What then? In the bewildering moments that followed, her mind raced, wrestling with vivid dreams and invisible shackles. I don't know, she whispered, grappling for control as her heart thudded painfully in her chest. Just then, the door burst open, sending a gust of cold air sweeping through the room. A distraught neighbor, eyes wide, stammered out words laced with urgency. "There's a fire. The alley is spreading. We need to get out now." The revelation was like a slap, dragging everyone back to the grim reality. Mariah's heart plunged, the weight of impending doom crashing down on her. "Bella," she gasped. "We need to leave. Now!" Victor remained unfazed, an unsettling calm radiating from him as panic began to ripple in the air. "Stay," he urged Bella softly, holding her gaze. "You don't really want to leave, do you? This is your chance, your moment." "No. This is danger," Trevor snapped, his worry morphing into desperation. He turned, a helpless glance anchored on Bella. "Only chaos awaits if you choose him." Mariah felt the storm of emotions threaten to tear the room apart. The roaring sirens outside morphed into a chorus, underscoring the urgency. Time was slipping through their fingers, and every moment they hesitated felt like an eternity. Bella stood at a crossroads, her fear battling against Victor's sweetness that draped heavy like a snake. I need to think," she called out, as if these words could somehow pause the chaos unfolding. "Think quickly, then," Victor whispered, his voice a silken thread binding them to him. And then it happened. A loud crashing sound echoed from another room, sending a shockwave through the gathering. The power flickered, shadows danced across their faces, and Victor's smile faltered for the first time. "What was that?" Mariah shouted, her heart racing like a wild horse. Trevor's breath caught as they all turned, eyes wide and fearful, staring into the dark corridor beyond the living area. "Something feels wrong." His voice trembled, caught between protectiveness and dread. Suddenly, shouts erupted from outside, panic rippling through the crowd gathering beyond the walls. The question permeated the air like smoke. What lay in wait beyond their door? As Bella's face grew pallid, the heaviness of indecision hung between them. Who would emerge unscathed from the night? The shadows loomed larger, calling for choices that could either lead to salvation or destruction. The seconds ticked down, the fire lurking just beyond, while Victor's allure danced in the periphery like a siren's song. In this fraying moment of chaos and temptation, would Bella break from her father's grasp, or would Victor's charm lead her to a darker fate? The tension snapped, the stakes rose, and as they stood on the precipice of impending doom, another crash reverberated through the hall. What was coming for them next? The crash echoed like thunder, sending jolts of panic through everyone in the room. Mariah's breath hitched at the thought of what could be lurking in the hallway. "We can't stay here." She gripped Bella's arm, her heart hammering against her ribcage, each beat a reminder of how time was slipping away. What if it's just a mistake?" Bella's voice wavered, her wide eyes darting between Trevor and Victor. "No, it's not just a mistake," Trevor shot back, urgency tightening his voice. "We're facing a fire, and this guy," he pointed at Victor, who stood still, a wicked smile creeping back onto his face, "is not going to help us." The chilling calmness of Victor was unnerving. "You're all being paranoid," he said, chuckling softly. "This is an opportunity, Bella. It's time to embrace change." The screaming from the street below intensified, a mix of horror and chaos, pulling Bella's focus away from Victor. "What if we don't have time to think?" she whispered, clutching her stomach like it could somehow give her stability. Mariah stepped closer to Trevor, keeping Bella in view. "Let us move. We can't waste time." She shot a quick glance toward the dark corridor, her ears piecing together fragments of the ongoing chaos, shouts, screams, and the crackling of flames. "You don't want to go out there," Victor warned, his sweet tone now laced with a jagged edge. "Chaos awaits you. Safety is an illusion." Trevor squared his shoulders, his frame towering. "And you're the one creating that chaos, aren't you?" Just then, the power flickered again, shadows playing tricks on their minds. Each pulsing beat of the emergency light sent waves of fear coursing through Mariah. She could almost feel the flames licking at her heels. We need to make a choice. Bella's face was a storm of emotions as she flitted between Trevor and Victor. I want to know what's out there. Then let us find out together, Mariah urged, a mix of fire and fear igniting her words. We can't let him control you. Suddenly, a loud crash came from behind them, forcing everyone to turn. The broken door splintered open completely, revealing a figure standing in the doorway, silhouetted against the flickering lights. It was too dark to see clearly, but anyone could sense the danger radiating from them. Trevor instinctively moved in front of Bella, shielding her from whatever that darkness held. Who are you?" he shouted, his voice trembling. The figure stepped closer, and Mariah felt her breath quicken. It was Victor. The man that stood there now had an air of authority, his features sharp under the flickering lights. "Get back," he barked, eyes scanning the room, catching every terrified face. Victor's demeanor shifted. His bravado faltered for just a moment, hinting at a deeper dread. "You shouldn't be here," he muttered, tension prickling the air. "What do you know?" the figure challenged, stepping directly into the light, revealing a face Mariah could hardly believe. It was someone she hadn't seen in years, someone she had thought was gone forever. "Anna," she gasped, recognition flooding her senses. The woman looked different, hardened by time and veiled secrets. "What are you doing here?" Fear twisted in Bella's eyes as she clutched her father's arm tighter, caught in a web of revelations and threats. "Who is she, Dad?" Mariah's heart raced even faster. With Anna's return came a flood of buried memories, and the weight of choices yet to unfold. "This isn't over," Victor hissed, shadows collecting around him like a cloak. Just then, a roar of fire surged from the direction of the alley, the flames curling ominously toward their door, squeezing the space until it felt suffocating. "I'll tell you everything," Anna said, urgency in her voice, "but we have no time. We need to leave, now." As they all stood at this crossroads, fear pulsing like an electric current, one question lodged in the back of Mariah's mind. Would they all escape the fire both inside and out before the storm claimed them for good? In the midst of chaos, time had unraveled. Now they had to decide, fight to uncover the truth, or flee before the flames consumed everything they knew. Mariah's mind raced, a whirlwind of thoughts colliding within her. Anna, the enigma of her past, had returned at the most critical moment. What did she know? What dark secrets were lurking behind her harsh exterior? The flames danced closer, casting flickering shadows that leaped in sync with her mounting fear. "Mariah, focus!" Trevor's sharp voice sliced through her daze. He grabbed her arm, forcing her to meet his eyes. "We need to decide now. Are we trusting her?" He cast a wary glance at Anna, still poised at the doorway. The flames roared louder, punctuating the urgency of the moment. "Anna, what is going on? What happened to you?" Mariah demanded, her pulse echoing in her ears. "There's no time," Anna replied, glancing furtively at the smoke beginning to snarl at their heels. Her voice dipped, almost conspiratorial. "We can't wait for the fires to catch us. I'm here to help you escape. But you have to believe me." Bella clutched her father, confusion layering her young face. "Help? How can we trust you? You disappeared." Mariah felt the weight of her daughter's fear deep within her. "She's right, Anna. We need answers." The corners of Anna's mouth tightened slightly. "I was trying to protect you. Everything about Victor, the chaos, it's all connected to the fire." Before she could finish, Victor's voice rose, slicing through the tension. "Spare us the theatrics, Anna. You think they'll follow you blindly? You've been gone too long. It's not the past, it's now that matters. The shadows around him grew thicker, so much so that one could almost feel them tugging at their sanity. Victor, the orchestrator of this chaos, had something to lose. And wouldn't he give it up easily? I know what I saw. Anna shot back, fierce determination igniting her tone. I know what he is capable of. The flames hissed, starving for attention, but the sounds outside had shifted. The sirens of emergency response teams pierced the air, a mix of hope and dread. Would they arrive in time, or were they too late to save themselves? We can't let him control the narrative, Trevor said, now casting an unusually collected gaze toward Anna. What do we do? Mariah felt desperation ripple through her like raging fire. We need a plan. We go with Anna, but we need to be on guard. This could be a trap, and we can't let ourselves get cornered. Anna stepped closer, her expression resolute yet breaking beneath the surface fear. Follow me. There's a way out through the back stairs. We'll be safe for now, but I'll explain everything once we're out. Out? Bella's voice quivered. Are we really leaving? Just like that? It's a chance we have to take. Mariah's grip on her daughter tightened, as her heart fought to silence the rising panic. Trust me. We fight hardest to survive. Stay close. Trevor yelled as they all began to move toward Anna, seeking the distant shadows of escape. The roaring flames loomed large, and they darted towards the back door, each step quickening under the mounting dread of approaching disaster. Something stirred behind them. A brush of wind led Victor to look ready to unleash chaos again, but they were already in motion. As they hit the stairs, adrenaline coursing through their veins, Mariah turned just enough to catch a glimpse of Victor's smirk. Run if you want. I'll be waiting, he taunted, his voice trailing behind them like smoke. What lied beyond the door? Their freedom? A new peril? Mariah's heart raced, fueled by both fear and determination. What awaited outside could either be salvation or the darkest nightmare yet, and as the heat enveloped them, they plunged into the unknown, clinging tightly to hope and the fading glimmers of trust that lurked each step they took. Yet, with every step, the question gnawed at Mariah. Could they truly escape Victor's grasp, or was he the harbinger of something much worse than fire? The cold air hit them like a slap as Mariah, Trevor, and Bella burst through the door. It took a moment for their eyes to adjust to the fading twilight beyond the safety of the flames. The cacophony of sirens shrieked in the distance, mixing with the rush of their own panicked breaths. Where do we go now? Bella asked, her little voice trembling in the chaos. She held tight to Mariah's hand, her trust still shining through fear. Anna scanned the street, her eyes darting from one shadow to the next. This way. She led them down a narrow alley, the shadows creeping close. The smell of smoke hung thick in the air, coating their throats like poison. Are you sure it's safe? Trevor's voice cracked, revealing the doubt clawing at him. There's nowhere else, Anna replied, firm yet softened by an undercurrent of fear. We don't have time for questions. As they rushed deeper into the alley, Mariah's heart pounded with each hurried step. Glancing back, she half expected to see Victor's figure looming behind them, a puppet master chasing them through the smoke. The image of him smiling cruelly in the fire's light twisted her stomach. Mom, what is happening? Bella whispered, breaking the suffocating silence. I'll explain later, sweetheart. Just stay close, Mariah managed to whisper back. Anna's footsteps quickened ahead. We need to get to the old storage place. It's secure, and I'll tell you everything there. The further they went, the more the world around them seemed to dim. Old bricks lined the edges, and garbage flung itself about like shadows, whispering tales of abandonment. The fear that gripped Mariah was suffocating. What lay ahead? What if they were walking straight into a trap? Suddenly, Anna stopped and turned to Trevor, her eyes wide. I need you to trust me more than ever, she said, the weight of her words pressing down like the heavy fog that clung to the ground. "Why should we trust you when you let us down before?" Trevor shot back, rage bubbling beneath the surface as he tried to process their dire circumstances. "Because if we don't trust each other now, we're dead." Anna's voice rose, urgency dripping from her words. Caught in a moment of indecision, Trevor's face twisted into an anxious mask. Mariah felt the tension mount as she stepped forward. "We're all scared, but we need to act. We can't let Victor win. Not now, not ever." Trevor hesitated, glancing at Bella, who looked up at him with wide, frightened eyes, then back at Anna, who stood ready to lead them into the unknown. "Fine. But if this goes wrong, it's on you," he finally snapped, the fire in his voice now mixed with desperation. "Let us move," Anna commanded, taking the lead once more. They crept along the alley, each step taken with the caution of prey hunted by a predator. The flames' roar faded into the night, replaced by the sound of their own anxiety radiating in the silence. Mariah's thoughts darted frantically. What was Victor planning? Was he already on their trail, ensuring their escape was futile? As they reached the hidden door to the storage place, Mariah paused. A clanging sound echoed from behind. The unmistakable sound of footsteps closing in, the shadows pressing like a vice around them. "Go! Now!" Anna hissed, jerking the door open to reveal darkness inside. Mariah stepped forward, the urgency pulling her into the void. Trevor pushed Bella inside, their breaths mingling in the closed space. Were they moving toward safety, or deeper into peril? Did Anna truly have an escape plan, or was Victor still manipulating every move? Just as they were about to shut the door behind them, a voice called out from the darkness. "You think you can hide forever?" Victor's mocking tone echoed through the night, sending chills down Mariah's spine. "Where are you?" Anna shot back, her voice steadier than Mariah felt. "Close enough to see how desperate you've all become." The air thickened with dread, and Mariah's heart whipped into a frenetic dance. They had a choice: confront Victor now, or risk the darkness swallowing them whole. As the reality of their situation enveloped them, one question pulsed in Mariah's mind: would they fight back against their worst nightmare, or had they sealed their fate by stepping into the shadows? The darkness of the storage area wrapped around them like a shroud. Mariah's heart raced as she pressed her back against the cold, damp wall, holding Bella close. The little girl shivered, her trust a warm beacon amidst the uncertainty. Trevor paced the dim light, his face set in a frown, eyes darting like a trapped animal searching for escape. Anna stood tense, her body coiled with tension as she strained to listen for any sign of their pursuer. "Is he coming?" Bella's small voice broke through the thick silence, laced with fear. "I don't know," Mariah whispered, glancing at Anna for answers. "Can you feel anything?" "Stay quiet," Anna urged, eyes fixed on the faint light filtering through the cracks of the boarded-up windows. "Victor will only be cornered for so long." Outside, the sounds of chaos continued, the sirens merging into a cacophony that set anxiety racing through Mariah's veins. "We can't stay here," she said finally, desperation lacing her words. "We need to face him while there's still a chance. Before he gets inside." Trevor shook his head, frustration etched into his features. "You're not making sense, Mariah. He is dangerous. How do we know this isn't a trap?" "Because," Anna interjected firmly, her voice low and steady, "I have a plan. It's risky, but it's our best shot. We can't hide forever. Victor sees opportunity in fear, but he underestimates our resolve." Mariah felt a flicker of hope. "If you truly believe this will work, trust me," Anna insisted. "I've seen him work, and I know how to exploit his weaknesses. He is arrogant. His confidence is his greatest downfall." Trevor inhaled deeply, steel in his eyes. "Fine. Let's do this. But if he shows even a flash of danger, we retreat." Bella shivered again, but released a small nod, determination shining through her fear. With one last glance around the dark, cramped room, they stepped toward the exit, edging the door open just enough to peek. Outside, the flickering light of flames danced ominously in the distance, casting menacing shadows. It was now or never. "Stick together," Anna murmured, guiding them into the oncoming storm of uncertainty. Together they began creeping into the open, the cool night air biting at their skin as a wave of primal fear washed over them. In the chaos, they caught sight of Victor standing amidst the smoke, looking unbothered, arms crossed with a knowing smirk. "Surprised to see you here," he called out, mocking delight glimmering in his gaze. "Running already? How disappointing." Trevor's face darkened, hands clenching into fists. "We're not afraid of you. Not anymore." "Brave words," Victor taunted, leaning slightly forward. "But bravery often leads to recklessness." The tension spun thickly in the air, and the stillness felt ready to explode. Mariah, heart hammering, took a step forward. "We're not your puppets, Victor. You don't control this family." A glimmer of doubt flickered in his eyes, then vanished. "Tiny little maid, you think you can play hero? Your delusions are touching but pointless." "That's where you're wrong," Anna interjected, stepping beside Mariah, her own face set with conviction. "Strength comes from bonds you can't break, a family out of a dark pit, ready to rise." "Such noble sentiment," he scoffed, yet hesitated. Mariah could almost feel the pull of pressure against him, as if the very air shifted. Trevor seized the moment. "We choose each other, Victor. Your approach to control is a downward spiral that leads to ruin. We're done dancing to your tune." "Sweet words," Victor responded, eyes narrowing, "but let us see how long that courage lasts against real chaos." Then, with a flourish of movement, he turned, brandishing a lighter that gleamed menacingly. "You want fire? Let us see who gets burned." As he flicked the lighter, flames flared dangerously, threatening to break free. Mariah's heart dropped, panic flooding her system as the reality hit hard. He planned to turn everything into an inferno. "No!" she cried, lunging forward, propelled by instinct and fear, but Anna moved faster. "Bella, stay behind me," she shouted, darting toward Victor and shoving him just as the flames erupted, a burst of heat engulfing the air. The inextinguishable fire twisted and danced, encasing Victor like a protective barrier. Yet, against the heat, Anna stood strong, positioning herself like a shield, unyielding. "Seal off the exits," Trevor shouted, and they scrambled to obey, frantically securing the door they had come from. Even as the intense heat closed in, smoke began to seep in, Mariah felt the weight of despair closing in on them. How did they get here? How would they escape the chains of fear, the grip of Victor? "Together," she cried, and they gathered close, forming a united front against the approaching chaos. In that moment of overwhelming uncertainty, love and resolve ignited within them, a fierce glow of strength. Victor's laughter rose above the crackling flames. "You think you can escape your fate?" As the shadows shifted and flames flickered dangerously close, they would prove him wrong. "We'll fight," Mariah shouted, their hearts pounding as one dot, and with that fierce declaration, light surged amidst the darkness, the bond they shared shining brighter than any flame. As they plunged through the door they had sealed, ready for whatever lay beyond, the determination boiled within them. They would escape the fire not just from it, but from the grip of Victor. Outside, the night opened up like a canvas, reminiscent of the dawn, leaving chaos behind. They would emerge as survivors, guided by hope, bound by love, and not merely flickering shadows in someone else's story, but as themselves, finally free. Moments later, as they stepped into the embrace of cool air, the sirens rang loud, drawing nearer. Together, they had not only faced the flames but also found their truth amongst the ashes, And amidst the chaos, they had reclaimed their family. Their journey was far from over, yet this chapter closed, leaving whispers of resilience etched in their hearts. Now, the world awaited. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe immediately to the channel, so you don't miss out on the next exclusive stories that we'll share. You need to subscribe now. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm, and make your support count. Flood the comments section below with your thoughts, theories, and reactions to this ending. Lastly, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Show your fandom, and don't wait even one more second to share. Let us keep our community growing strong.